Welcome to another News Game Plus. I'm Dermie as usual, and I'm here with New Game Plus executive producer Jason O'Callaghan, which apparently Cringy tells me I shouldn't call you.
So I'm
Executive Bear.
I'm News Game Plus co-host, Jason.
Special guest. Can I be special guest star
Yeah.
like Heather
Did-
Locklear was on Beverly Hills 90210?
That's interesting. I did not know that was well. Did he tell you the story about that? Because he was
Wait,
making business.
Cringy,
Yeah,
tell me a story about that. Wait, what?
he was making business cards. He was updating his business card, and he copy pasted mine and just changed his name and like the template, blah 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 blah. And he left the title, so he left executive producer in.
Oh, yeah.
And so then Mish wanted to go to Bit Summit, and she helped us with some translations and stuff. So yeah, we'll just get you a business card and come into Bit Summit, blah blah blah. And I didn't know about. I said to her, I said, "You coming to Bit Summit?" She goes, "Yeah, I'm coming into you guys." I'm like, "Fucking are you?" Like it's news to me. She goes, "Oh no, I just got Jack to do it." I'm like, "Oh, Jack's the new boss anyway. Who gives a fuck, right?" Like yeah. So
Was she an executive producer?
no. She was just whatever, but it was just he did like none of the process went through me. It all went through
He
Jack.
just makes cards.
Yeah,
Everyone just contact Cringy.
Yeah, if you want a job, yeah.
Plus card.
Yeah, so the joke is that he's the senior executive. Senior executive producer, and I'm just the executive producer.
I got told years ago if you the important people don't actually have titles on their cards. So yeah, so there you
Well,
go.
yeah, or it's a really vague one.
I'll
Like
introduce you as nothing. I'll
yeah,
just say
yeah.
dude.
The more delineated your title, usually the less actual power you have. I'm the vice president in charge of blah 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 blah. So you do nothing.
Well, I'm a
Like,
company director.
yeah. So that's yeah. If it's a single one word title, if it's simple, it's like I'm this. It's like why? Because
Yeah.
I don't get self esteem from this. It's just the level you're dealing with.
All right, cool. Well, let's gamey game.
Yes.
That's another podcast that Dave Callan's on every so often. So anyway, Superstation One. I bought a Superstation One, by the way, a Founders Edition. Have you seen that?
I don't even know what the fuck.
It's a Mister in a PlayStation box, and it uses PlayStation controllers, memory cards.
Yes.
Adds a little CD
I
add-on.
did see this. Sorry, yes, I did actually see.
Yeah,
this.
so I got in the world of Mister. So big hello to Jamie because he'll be Mister. It's only got
he's actually a pretty good resource for that stuff. Like,
only got one RAM bank, unfortunately. So some of the cores, like the Saturn core, don't quite work.
Because you need the two.
The
right,
3DO doesesn't work, but it's a pretty neat bit of kit. I don't know if it'll replace my Evercade because it is Misters are clunky, but it's a beautiful bit of hardware. Really nice.
That is the thing with Misters is it's about as close to a perfect emulation as you can get in most situations because it's all the individual modules and
Well,
stuff
it's
like that.
FPGA. Remember I interviewed that guy that I didn't know his name?
Yeah. He said his name wrong like twice.
Campbell still reminds me of that. The FPGA, the field programmable gate arrays, which is basically a chip that can be told how to act like another chip. So invasion of the body snatcher style. So instead of normal emulation where you're just writing code that tries to take all the calls to the old hardware. The FPGA can just say, I program the chip effectively, and the chip goes, that's a call to what I use.
It's kind of like a virus. It's viruses. It's like it'll still replicate into its new form. It just
it's neat stuff. So yes, so I've been playing Superstation 1, which is kind of neat. So, but yeah, Mister's clunky, not user friendly. I wouldn't recommend it to a normie.
Yeah, that's what I try and explain to people as well. Is I'm just like, look, most of the time emulation is going to be fine for 90% of that era of games. You can brute force it, like you can just brute force most of the stuff you would want to play, and you can keep your one or two collector's boxes for your shelf and just play it the other way. But the thing with Mister is, you got to tinker with it, you got to make it work. It's like when people have like project cars, have like hot rods. Instead of saying, "Oh, I bought a classic car that has like a long lineage of," if you buy like a classic drift car, it's like, okay, well, you know how to get parts, you know how to get this, you know how to get that, because there's like established ways to do it. Whereas if it's like a hot rod and you're chopping all these bits up and putting them in and making them go, and it's like that's way more the Mister experience. If it's such a bespoke kind of purpose,
very hobbyist machine. It's very accurate. It played on the Saturn. It played Cigarelli beautifully.
Yeah,
it's so nice. But Virtual Fighter had glitches, but I think that's the single banker RAM.
Yeah.
And the 3DO core apparently won't run on it, which was sad. But there's a new one coming soon, which is only a single bank. So I'll be trying.
Gotcha.
Big hello to Maddie. I told him I was going to try a 3DO on my Mister, so I haven't had a chance yet. So, so I've been having a crack at. What have you been playing?
I when I spoke to you last, had I started Ball Pit? I don't think I had started Ball X Pit, which is Arkanoid, if Arkanoid was a progressive RPG roguelite.
Or progressive, it believed in like women's
No,
rights and
well, I mean, yeah, sure.
didn't vote Republican.
I always, I mean, is it really that progressive to have basic empathy? But apparently, it is in the modern world.
That's just rare,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But anyway,
No. Basically, you play you run a little character, and they've all got different skills and different powers, and you shoot balls up the field, and then depending on the character, like you're trying to bounce them to hit the blocks, and the blocks have health bars and stuff like that, and you take them out, and so it's like Arkanoid, right? You know, Arkanoid used to bounce it back and forth or break. What you know what Arkanoid is? I don't have to explain Arkanoid to you.
Arkanoids. It was awesome.
Yeah, so it's like Arkanoid, but an RPG. It's on Game Ass. If you've got Game Ass, it's on that.
Yep.
Helldivers
Game Ass soon, yeah.
Helldivers has had two big things lately, two big quality of life upgrades.
Oh, really? Boy, hasn't mentioned it to me.
That literally dropped yesterday. So so basically,
I won't see him for another week.
yeah. How Helldivers used to
Slide
handle
food under the door.
Yeah. How Helldivers used to handle what's that thing I'm thinking of? How it used to handle oh my god, what am I thinking of? Upgrades, like unlocking weapons and stuff was like a couple of times what they would do is, oh, here's the 2 planets we need liberated. If you save this one, you'll save like what is it the home for moderately feeble teenagers, or you'll get this weapon. And so strategically, if you look at the wider map, the feeble teenager planet was the pick. But if you went the other one, we got this weapon earlier. And so you'd be given choices like that. Oh, if you pick this, you get the gas mines. If you pick this one, you get the auto airburst launcher. And you pick, depending on which one you go to, you would unlock later on, you would get the other one. But basically, the community decided which one hit the game first, right? And they've done that again with the recent cars, because the rumor is that they were originally going to sell them to you in a war bond, in a battle pass, and then with all the backlash of the doing it for the robots, they've just done this. So new cars that are really good, they're both really good. New changes, so they balance patched a lot of it. So a lot of the stuff that was unfair, I would say, is now fair. Yeah, it's definitely an easier game than it was when it launched. Like, I mean, I'm 1,100 hours in. That's the other thing you got to remember. So I've played a lot of this video game, but I still love it. It's great. It's probably still game of the year every year at the moment. It scratches my EDF itch. When EDF comes out, the new one, I'll play that as well. But I think that'd be the best kind of crossover they're doing a Warhammer crossover. I don't know if you saw that.
In a bug planet. Imagine a bug planet.
Well, that's what the game is. Bugs. It's Terminids, right? So it's Terminids, robots.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking like EDF.
Yeah. So that would be interesting if they did like a straight up, his actual like insects from Earth kind of thing.
Well, they could do a crossover and just have you going to the EDF planet
That's
where they're coming from,
correct.
like Starship Troopers style.
Yeah. Well,
except they actually did it.
Well, it's because it's funny, right? Because the Starship Troopers shooter is actually pretty good. Like, it's pretty fun, blah blah blah. And there are people who play Helldivers who are just bug divers. They will just play against the bugs. They won't play against the basic. I don't know if you know the 3 factions. You've got the Terminids.
Yeah.
Terminids
I've been told about it so often. Apologies to Cam. I sometimes glaze over. I've heard so much of the lore about this. It's not funny.
Terminids are bugs. So think of it like this: Terminids are bugs. Illuminate are like Cthulhuan squids. So it's the Cthulhu dark gods, like under the sea gods, and then the automatons are literally Terminators, right? So it's like you're fighting Terminators, Cthulhu, and Alien, right? That's the 3 kind of factions you're fighting. Starship Troopers is probably more accurate than Alien, but like there's still those kind of things. So you've got these 3 factions, and it's all basically trying to balance the map. You're always under siege. Like the game in itself is a satire, obviously, and so yeah, just balancing that and making your anyway. Moral story is Helldivers is great. Been playing that.
Still 10 out of 10.
I still got to finish Mouse PI, which is the next one.
Mouse PI looks really good.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of good ones on Game Ass at the moment while I still have it. And I don't know how much longer, based on the news that I'm sure you're about to talk about today.
Yeah, we will be talking about that soon.
Keep in mind, I never read Dermie's notes before he sends them. He kind of springs it on me, but I'm usually reading a lot of the same articles. So I do, once he brings up the topic, I know what we're
it's like a reaction podcast.
Yeah. That's good. I think it's a way to do it.
I'd make a bunch of notes, and then I'd turn up here and I'd say a bunch of stuff and see if Jason gets upset or not.
Well, I mean,
So yeah, because review bombing's not a thing. But
well, anyway,
try to do gaming news.
yeah, no, it's fine because Pauline Hanson doesn't use bots either. Don't worry about it.
So let's talk. Don't kill games. So you know the Don't Kill Games initiative.
No.
There was okay, basically 1.3 million people apparently in EU, although probably all over the world now, is online, signed a petition which was enough to make the EU Commission have to like look into the complaints by Don't Kill Games, which were basically saying when a game company disconnects a service, they shouldn't be allowed to delete the game from your hard drive or just turn the game off, right?
Yeah.
That they what Don't Kill Games
turn the code over like so that people can run their own.
They just wanted to make it so that you could either run a local server or some other thing, so that your game, when a game company decided to turn off the server or anything else, your game didn't stop working because you paid for it.
Yeah.
Now this is where most people had snuck up on them. We've known forever that you're not paying for a game; you're buying a license to play the game, but the general public didn't know, and that's why they got away with it. So Don't Kill Games trying to do that. So anyway, they did get in front of the EU Commission.
Yeah.
And the EU Commission declined to propose any legislation via a citizens' initiative, which is what they had. Even though 1.3 million people signed for this, what the EU Commission did say, they proposed, quote, an industry dialogue to push for good practice around the frustration that may exist. Notice this word may, a lawyer put that in, among consumers. So not game consumers. They said also, quote, they cannot propose a legal obligation on publishers. That was their language. So basically the Don't Kill Games thing lost. There are some other avenues because it's always a legal thing, but they did lose. What's also amazing is just before the hearing, a video game lobbying group, including Ubisoft, were able to have a private meeting with the EU Commission without any representatives from the Stop Killing Games initiative.
Yeah.
So that's how the world works, boys and girls.
Keep in mind that it was the EU did, like, I am certain that the UK's antitrust watchdog or whatever it was called, I am certain they thought EU would knock back the Microsoft merger. I am certain that they thought EU would do it. And EU didn't do it. It was the UK that did it. And
it all depends who gets the money.
I was just about to say, yeah, exactly.
You talk factions. In this world, there is one faction. It's like when you play Command and Conquer Generals, there's the GLA, there's China, there's America. There's a faction in every single thing that happens in this world, and that faction is called money.
Yes.
It is the most ruthless faction, and basically it transcends religions, races, everything. That is, the faction is money.
We're already getting political, like, realistically.
I have to buzz you. It's cringy said I got put the Hussein. What's his name? Hassan, shock collar on you. A bear collar for you.
But this is kind of the two-pronged argument is, we either import Uber slaves or we import wealthy nationalists from whatever country, and they're the ones with the money and the resources, and they're usually the ones exploiting their own people.
Yeah, but when
because wealth wins.
One of the big things they do at the moment with this skilled immigration is you're depriving the original country of that skill. But anyway,
colonialism by osmosis. I say that to everyone.
There's a lot of debate needs to be had around immigration, and none of it's being had honestly at the moment. But there is a genuine debate needs to happen. But that's another story. Before I have to zap both of us.
All right.
So right now, let's talk money again. Now, the Xbox showcase or whatever it was from last time we spoke about, one of the games shown was New Gears of War game.
Yes. Emergence Day.
Yes, Emergence Day. Apparently that movie from Spielberg is like boomer nonsense.
It looked it from day one. Okay.
It does. It looks silly.
So when these old directors have...
It's a tangent.
When you see the marketing come out real hard, you know it's going to be a shit movie. Spielberg shouldn't have to advertise them because his last movie before that was like wasn't his like life biopic where it was about him growing up and stuff like that.
Remember. But He said this one about it was going to make Spielberg said it's going to make Christians question their faith.
Oh hell yeah, brother!
I thought, yeah, I don't know if you've been paying much attention there, Stevie.
That's a brave move in America for the little sheepish Jewish guy to start.
It's a
people
very- I don't
question.
know if you're paying a lot of attention out there, but they've tried to reveal aliens to us a couple of times recently, and everyone's gone, meh. There's a lot of other shit going on. And also this thing about Christians question their faith, I don't know where the fuck that comes from. It's like because I think most people generally either believe aliens exist or they could exist, and it does not contradict any religious beliefs at all.
Yeah. No, well, I mean
They could, they may not.
There's always that big one. Everyone talks about like the Greys and stuff. Like I can't remember what I mean.
The ones that Phil Schneider had a shootout with.
Yeah.
Friendly Geordie's left that out. I should have told him. Friendly Geordie's, you gotta include Phil Schneider in your alien talk. He's the OG of that.
Yeah. And everyone's like, I mean, and the signs kind of hints at it. There's a few media ones that kind of that they're not actually extraterrestrials. Like they're just like they're like it's the kind of lizard people and the demons thing. Yeah.
Spoiler. Yeah, Signs is a totally different movie if you watch it like that. And Signs, I like Signs. I thought it was a good movie. That was when Shel Moran was doing good work.
Yeah, he can still make like occasionally he comes out with a good one. It's just he picks it's. There's a few actors who are like that too. They just pick bad projects. Like what's her name, Daenerys after Game of Thrones. Everything she's been in after that has been like either really niche or really just shit. Like she just can't.
I think she's suffering trauma from what they did to her character.
I mean, have you ever seen anything leave the zeitgeist that quickly? I've never seen.
The Boys. The Boys is on. The Boys is on track to do the same thing.
I still haven't watched season 5, and I've seen, but I have had the ending spoiled for me, and I'm like,
it's so shit.
I thought it was fine. Like, I mean, it is like he's exactly that kind of person, but I think they did the feeble thing the wrong way, and I don't know. They just I don't know. They probably should have ended it at season 3, like when it was building up to this already, and then season 4 just felt like they were just trying to
season 2 started to get silly. Anyway, so what I was talking about.
Sorry.
Gears of War. So it cost. Gears of War apparently cost $400 million to make.
Yeah, I believe it.
Which is what Concord costs. So there's a good omen.
Now keep in mind when they talk about that, that's not including marketing, which in movie world is usually the same cost again. When someone says a movie costs $100 million to make, it costs $200 million.
I think my son worked out it's actually the equivalent of 5,300 developer years at normal US pay or something.
I believe it. Yeah.
Which is a lot of developer years.
But if you do the maths on it, right, because they're going to be a developer that's probably at least 500 people deep, right? They're going to be at least a good 500 people deep.
5,000, that's like 10 years of...
10 years. And keep in mind that...
Okay, if you're working on a game for 10 years, you're fucked up.
Well, the last Gears came out, 6-7 years ago?
Okay, let's talk last Gears, because I got numbers.
All right, here we go.
I have a numbery do's. Now, okay, so let's look at the trajectory here. Gears 1 in 2006 cost $12 million to develop.
And it was a tech demo as well, so that was the other part of it.
It was made in Unreal Engine.
Yeah. Well, they're all made in Unreal Engine because it's Epic, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it was Epic. It was Tim Sweeney. So anyway, Gears 2, 2008, the budget went up to $40 million.
Ooh. And that was a big deal then. And because I remember 3 was the one where they really started talking about like how big the budgets had grown to. And it was a step up technologically, even if this game itself was shit house.
It's a big group. Although I still maintain as somebody who's managed development teams over the years, you can do so much with a small, very good development team. And the more you add, I think people need to read the Mythical Man Month, which used to be a necessary thing for programmers.
Yeah.
You cannot make
a baby in
1 month by hiring 12 women.
Yeah.
So now Gears 3, 2011, $60 million to make.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Judgment. 2013. Again, $60 million to make.
That was why people hated it. Well, that's why that game didn't get the response that they wanted, because it was just not. It wasn't that good, and it was a lot to make. Like if they just spun that off, they did the old asset classic like Ubisoft, where they make like the second one where they use the same assets, but they make their own story. I think that would have been fine, but I just think because it cost them so much, they were upset about it.
So it's in 2006, it was 12 million, jumps to 40 and then 60. So that's in the space.
But that goes up 5 times in 3 games.
7 years. So now, obviously, there's more tension on it and everything. Now, interestingly, Gears 1 made $100 million on $12 million, and Judgment made $100 million as well, apparently, on $60 million.
Yeah, so, that's what I mean, because everyone talks about Judgment. I'm like, and it was a lesser game. I will absolutely pay that. But it wasn't that bad. It was fine, especially compared to the newer ones. It was fine.
And then we look 15 years later. 13 years later. Because of Judgment, we've jumped from 60 million to 400 million.
Yeah, and keep in mind, there was 2 other games. There was Gears 4 and Gears 5.
Yeah, I didn't have numbers for that.
No, that's all right.
Gears Tactics, I like.
I didn't mind Tactics. I say that, but like it was that was one you want to talk about, just using the assets and putting them in a different style of game. I mean, Tactics games are much easier to make, so that's
a big jump.
Yeah.
Now people say games got really complicated, but also the developer tools should be getting better as well.
Yeah.
And they're doing it on Unreal, so there should be way more Unreal skills around.
Correct.
Now I thought I'd compare it to something else. Let's look at Halo. 2001 Halo 1, $10 million budget.
Yeah.
2004 Halo 2. 40 million. So again, another jump. And that was a similar sort of, similar trajectory to Gears.
Yeah.
Halo 3, 2007, that was 30 to 40 million, they estimate. They say 30 million plus 10 million marketing. They wouldn't have had to do a lot of marketing for Halo 3.
Especially the way they ended too. I still hated the way they ended too.
Finish the fight.
Yeah. I still remember, I was so angry I had to walk out of my house.
That was annoying.
Yeah, that was like during my exam week as well. What a fucking pain in the ass.
So, and then it gets handed over to 343 and Microsoft. And you're going to see a bit of a trend here. 2021 Halo Infinite. Now, of course, they shot for a little bit with the stars with this one. It's been estimated at $500 million.
And the gameplay loop in Halo Infinite isn't even that bad. I just hated the story of Halo Infinite. It was so bad. It was like, oh, I've got nervous Spanish guy. I'm like, this sucks. This fucking game sucks.
But if you look at it, basically what it looks like is as soon as Microsoft gets involved in a game,
it just bloats.
The budget goes up by 10 times.
Well, it has been interesting. Like, I'm sure one of the stories you're going to bring up is Xbox Studio cuts.
Stop reading my notes.
I mean, I can't see them from here.
They're not cuts, they're a reset. Stop it.
Even I can't read them from here.
They're called a reset.
Yeah. And so it is interesting to see, like, you got these, like, Bethesda and all these ones, and Bethesda's able to get away with making one game every 8 years now, and they made Starfield for one.
Yeah, like when you mean one, you mean literally one. Yeah. It's Skyrim over and over.
I hate to be that guy. I feel like they've got all these other studios, and they're like they're not making them make like. There's no reason you couldn't have like the New Vegas and Fallout 3 reboots. I'm sure they're already mostly done, or if not, they're already being commissioned to be done.
Oh, because the Oblivion reboot was pretty successful. I paid for it.
Yeah. You actually bought it, which I thought was interesting.
But they didn't fix the bug, so I'm burnt now. So a bit frustrating.
Yeah, and so, but I mean, you've got like Obsidian and stuff like that. I think with all of the stuff coming out, like we'll find that Obsidian will get pivoted into some kind of Fallout thing instead, which they're going to hate. But the Outer Worlds 2. The reason everyone's like, oh, Outer Worlds 2 didn't do that, I was like, yeah, because Outer Worlds 1 felt like half a game, and it was half a game. It was right as they got bought, so they had to basically go, look, we have to put a cap on this one, and then like move on to the next one to justify the Microsoft money. And it felt obvious and it felt cynical, and the world itself wasn't quite expanded enough to get that loyalty on board for it. And like when they did Avowed, I didn't even know Avowed was tied into Pillars of Eternity, and I'd never played Pillars of Eternity. And I'm like, oh, what's this? It's like, oh, you should know all this stuff from the other games. I'm like, fucking, should I? Like,
they're doing that a lot with things now. Yeah, it's a Marvel sort of thing. You've got to have seen the comics to understand what the fuck's on the movie.
Well, you want to talk about Gears of War? Gears of War was one of the first ones to Gears and Halo. I remember in the old days, like that's where like Jared and people like that we know. They know all their fucking Gears lore. It's because they own all the books. They own all the comic books.
Yeah.
They're the ones who go, actually. And I'm like, not necessarily in a bad way. And I think Gears was better at telling its story, whereas Halo was a shocker for it. If you wanted lore, you had to go read fucking like Fall of Reach and all that kind of stuff with Sergeant Johnson. And then if you saw it, the game Xbox game, whatever they called it, the stupid press conference. They had like, oh, we're doing Halo. It's not remastered. It's I can't remember what stupid word they used. And it's like, oh, there's 3 new missions where you play as Sergeant Johnson. I'm like, this is fucking stupid. Like,
this on the new one,
yeah.
Yeah, no, they don't know what they're doing. Anyway, so I've got, based on that, look, it looks like, I had a quick look at some other games, but basically the moment Microsoft gets involved, the budget goes through the roof, right? Now, there's a bit, let me tell you about corporate IT areas, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Managers love headcount.
yeah,
It's how they dick wave to each other, right? So there's a lot of padding there. There'll be a few relatives of people in there and stuff
yeah,
like that.
yeah, yeah.
I've got some advice for Usher, and I know she's a big listener of our
Yeah,
podcast. So, um, it's time. It's time to do a management buyout. Nobody talks about it anymore. It used to be a big thing years and years ago. Xbox needs to be spun off and disconnected from Microsoft.
yes.
It doesn't make enough compared to the cloud services and the
Yeah,
Office service and that Microsoft 365 to be exciting to the upper management. It does have a place in the market. Now, I'll use an example of remember the Harmony remotes, right?
yeah, yeah.
They were great for audio enthusiasts.
The Logitech Harmony remote, you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
before they were Logitech,
Yes,
right?
yeah, I remember.
So when they were,
Well, you are going old law on this. I was working at Dick Smith.
I'm going somewhere with this story, not just being an old man, right? So anyway, they were great. You had one remote and you had an online database of all your devices. You connect the remote to your computer. It just sets up all the macros and everything, and then you got a nice little experience.
It was smart enough. I say this wherever I'm like that was the era of it was smart enough. It didn't connect to the internet. You didn't have to sync it to online settings. You could just literally do it on your computer, send that data in, and then it would save, as you said, all your macros and stuff like that.
Yeah, just write it back to the remote.
It would set the right frequency, blah, blah, blah. It's like how you used to do like FTP transfers, basically, in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I've still got one that's really nice. But anyway, where I was going with this is that it was a great little device. Logitech bought it. Logitech a few years ago cancelled it. So they don't make them anymore. The reason being that it wasn't making enough money for Logitech to care about anymore. Now, it was still very popular with enthusiasts and a certain market. Now, that market would have still propped up Harmony Remote as a separate brand, and it would have been very successful for the owners. But it wasn't enough to make Logitech excited, so they got rid of it. So basically, the whole market.
Logitech is Microsoft as well now, isn't it?
I don't know, might be, but I do like Logitech's hardware generally. I try and buy that. But basically, what they've done is they've taken something that had a really niche market, tried to make it a mass market. When the mass market moved on, they didn't take it back to the niche market. They just said, well, it's not worth enough to us. We're getting rid of it. Because on our Excel spreadsheet, it's a low down item. Now, this is where Xbox is for Microsoft. They took it on. It's not, I don't believe that the gaming industry is a corporate Microsoft size industry. I think that the Microsoft shouldn't have Xbox anymore.
Yeah.
It should be spun off, do management buy it, let Phil come back and buy it out. He's probably got some money. And then basically, instead they do this bullshit like buying Activision and all that, it should go back to being that niche market for the people that like Xbox and like playing it. And then the decision making will then be more sensible and around what the actual players want, not what Microsoft wants it to be.
Well, so I think this is
because they're trying to turn it into something that it's not, and corporations do that because when you say cloud services, Office 3 or Microsoft 365, the email stuff, Windows is small actually now, but that props up everything. And then Xbox is really small. So of course the upper management looks at it. They have no idea because the upper management are normally pretty dumb in a company. They didn't get there by being clever, right?
Yeah.
So they're looking at it and going, well, whatever this Xbox thing is, it's not making a lot of money, but I see it in the shops everywhere. So what the fuck's going on? It needs to make 30%, something, right? So they're putting demands on it that a smaller company, a more lean, efficient company wouldn't need to put on. And so what it does is stifles it. So you suddenly lose risk. You suddenly have massive budgets for games because no doubt you got all these consultants coming on, big names, voice actors.
Then they're all bad because they're by committee.
And you spoil it, and then you take it to focus groups. But if they let it go back to what it was, and maybe, and I've said this for games before, let the Microsoft can still keep like a small stake, a 20% stake or something, right? And basically just take the free money that comes from that, and let a more lean, hungry management team control it.
So I've got a few points to add on to here. Sony kind of fell backwards into this world. Sony weren't a gaming company. They were a tech company. They had the contract with Nintendo for what was going to be the successor to the Super NES. That all fell through. They said, fuck it, we'll go it alone. We'll go. But also, at that point in time, MSI was a thing. You had Philips were doing the CDI. You had
GAG from Atari.
So you had like more people in the marketplace.
Commodore with the CD32 was still around.
Right. So you were incentivized to be a little bit more a little bit more of a risk taker, and that was their risk. CDs was their risk. You know what I mean?
Well, they also wanted to own the CD. They wanted to keep control of the
Correct.
CD market. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and so that's right. It was, and in the same way that Microsoft, a lot of their gaming stuff are tech demos. I mean, that's a lot of the Microsoft original games. It was on PC because it was tech demos. It was
Well,
how can we stress hardware, make it look good, and offer something tangential to thing. That was when it was Microsoft.
Well,
games.
it's called Xbox because it's Direct Xbox.
Yeah.
Because they just wanted to show off what
Correct, yep.
DirectX could do for the Windows thing.
Exactly. And so I think that's where it got its start. And now that it's become like with Sony, you know, there was points with Sony where they were making the only factions making money from Sony, because it's a hardware company and the nature of hardware manufacturing has completely changed. The only parts that were making money was the insurance part and the gaming part, which kept them afloat. And now they are a thing again. You know what I mean? Like it saved them. Whereas with Microsoft, like you say, they never had that struggle because at that point they had such a stranglehold on home computing that it didn't matter.
Yeah,
Like they didn't.
Sony was forced to be a gaming company by other factors.
Yes.
Microsoft hasn't been forced to be a gaming company.
Correct.
That's why Microsoft will turn up. And it's been like that for a long time. You turn up at that Matrix conference years and years ago, not understanding what gamers want, and going TV sports, right? And all the gamers are going, what the fuck are you guys doing, right? And then they go, oh, if you want a console done on the internet, just use the last one. Don't buy the new one. And they just didn't understand. Whereas Sony just turned up. They were still lean and still hungry. They just turned up and said, hey, here's how you trade a game with a friend. That was beautiful.
I was at the E3 when that happened. I actually saw House literally a couple hours after that. I said to him, well, you just fucking buried him with that one.
It did. It's great.
And it's because he understood that better. And now, I mean, he's gone off into the sunset, and then they put old mate Jim in, and Jim fucked it. But they had such a good start, and Microsoft, no matter what, Microsoft were always doing stupid as shit. And so
because it was coming from top down, and because they don't understand gaming.
So that was going to be my next point. Matrix came from a similar space, but from Microsoft's side, they knew everything was going to go to subscription. They could see that writing on the wall. They were like, well, we can start it with gaming and test. I'm like, not understanding that it is a niche interest who people are passionate about. It's like it's a hobby enthusiast world that started. And it does have its claws in art in the same way that we complain about Hollywood movies being schlock. You know, it does have its roots in art. Like there are good movies, there are artistic movies. And, you know, there's always been that scene where people can compete. And as that homogenized, like Hollywood's only just started making good Hollywood movies again. Have you seen that stupid Project Hail Mary?
Yeah, I really like that.
I was saying you would have liked that. I imagine that.
My wife and daughter were all over it. Although they were very upset because when he loaded his centrifuge, he put the two the test tubes in the same side, and they didn't balance it. And,
on the other side,
and they haven't shut the fuck up about that.
Yeah.
So they love that. But another movie I watched was Boredomlands, which kind of kills everything you just said.
Well, but that's what no, it makes my point, right? It's like Hollywood forgot how to make movies. They just knew how to make like entertainment
brands. They're trying to make brands.
Correct.
Yeah.
But this year, I would say in the last year, Hollywood's remembered how to make good movies that aren't Marvel movies. And not to say every Marvel movie is good.
Well, they need to get off Marvel.
But and so but the second point I was going to make is all the points you made about lack of innovation, lack of trying to take risks, blah, 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 blah. You can say what you want about Apple, but they will occasionally come out with shit that maybe no one wants, but it's that Steve Jobs, let's wag the dog. The audience doesn't know what they want yet, kind of thing. And sometimes that
has slowed down.
That has
Jobs died. That
absolutely,
has slowed down so much.
But sometimes they don't know what they want, and so you know, and if anything, Apple prides itself on its privacy, which is sad when Apple can say we're probably one of the better ones.
Yeah, look, I think it'll turn out one day they've been lying the whole time about that. So, but anyway,
it's just like I said. I think you're right. I think it would do better in the hands of, but who? You know what I mean?
I just don't think the Xbox is a corporate brand.
No,
I think it can make a lot of money, but it can't make Microsoft money.
Yeah,
it can't make the same money their AI data centers do. Right, no. And it needs to be spun off. Keep an ownership percent if you want Microsoft, and Usher, do this. Go talk to Phil. Say sorry what I did to you. So let's do a management buyout and just have people in charge who are not completely hamstrung by upper management who don't really know what they're doing, and they're clearly been for a long time forcing Xbox into doing certain things, and they've just they're out of touch now. Now talking that, we have to go on to, because the next bit we have to talk about Xbox is the reset. Usher's calling it a reset.
They don't even have a reset button anymore.
Well, apparently they do in the offices. in the HR department. So they've got a new wave of layoffs is coming. There's been a few speculated numbers. By the time I actually get this podcast out, everyone will probably know. Let's just insert 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, but just cut out whichever one doesn't fit, right? Asher says is so they can move faster, stay close to the community, and align the brand behind a shared vision. And gamers.
And the shared vision is it's really bold of you to try this move, and you should be proud of yourself. Like I could just hear I just hear the Claude voice,
you're correct. That mushroom is poisonous.
Yeah,
Would you like me to give you a list of the top 10 other poisonous mushrooms?
So I've heard that a guy there's great recipes involving beef Wellington for that mushroom.
So Xbox game studio head Craig Duncan has stepped down since that. So obviously,
and he's still Louise, whatever her name is.
There's stuff happening. Look, Microsoft just
and yet Matt Booty still survives. So that goes to show you who's diddling the balls, right?
And this is a corporate thing. I did enough time in corporate to see how that works, and I hated it. It just look. The thing is, corporations can do things that smaller companies can't.
Yeah.
But they have no business trying to run everything in the world to try and maximize profits on things where there aren't profits to maximize to their degree. Now, you could maximize profits if you ran Xbox as a separate Xbox company. You could make a lot of money. Right? There's a lot there. It's a brand that can still work if you can turn around. But you can't do it to make Microsoft money.
Well, and the other part of it as well is because of the nature of how short-sighted shareholders are, and because basically as much as the stock market was always a gamble, now it's literally just like poly market, right? It's absolute fabrication. You have to have these results every quarter.
Line must always go up.
It's not in 10 years, like we're going to take a hit now, but in 10 years time, this will pay off big time. Blah, blah. No one is going to give you.
No, shareholders don't know that.
No one is going to give you 10 years.
Shareholders can't plan.
Yeah.
And because they change their shares all the time anyways, but they don't even care about the plan.
As somebody who works in small business, I've said this you want to talk about, because we don't talk about politics on the show, but the local conditions around like capital gains tax and stuff has convinced me that everyone goes, oh, they're, entrepreneurs are, smart and innovative, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, you realize very quickly, the more you deal with small to medium-sized business owners, that most of them, I'm surprised that they can use a fork. Like they either came from money, or they had money and they invested, or they got lucky at the right time and were smart enough on how to hold on to that money and use it once it has a certain momentum, because they are not innovative, they are not smart, and they don't work hard.
I've worked with businesses for over 20 years, and I've got no comment.
Yeah. You still got to get work out of them, right?
No, look, there's okay. For example, I spent 15 years leading up to COVID, trying to convince people they needed an online store.
Yeah.
And they'd always go, "No, it's too much trouble."
Yeah.
And it's like, and so they weren't prepared. And business thinking is not where it should be. Let's just put that. And even now, like how people do online stores, some do it right, but generally they don't. Like, you hear complaints like, "Oh, but if I get an Amazon store, I have to give money to Amazon."
I'm like, yeah,
and like, yeah, you do, but you also have to pay rent on your store, right? So let's talk about what the costs are for your actual retail. But you're used to that, and you don't think about it because that's how it's been for ages.
And I can tell you right now, as much as you want to think of Amazon as a scam, commercial real estate is the real scam.
That's the killer, and that holds stores back, retail back.
You want to talk about? They're talking about CGT. They're talking about this. They're talking about that. Unsurprisingly, the biggest parasites are landlords, and as awful. Private land, as in like residential landlords, are a different level because residences should be a human right. Commercial land leases shouldn't be a human right.
I've rented offices before. I've seen how that works. It's look, people, all the complaints they have about or what do you call it, like residential landlords are nothing compared to commercial.
Right, but I think the reason you can get some traction occasionally on residential landlords is because it holds people need to live. But yes, I would argue one of the biggest stiflers of innovation and of Main Street. Oh, bring back the Main Street. I'm like, I can tell you, it's rent. And I have a friend who runs a pretty successful little shop. They've got two outlets, blah blah blah. And he knows when it's coming up to renew season every 2 years. His landlord, he's going to have to go kiss the ring and make a whole case for it, blah, 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 because then she may only raise it 5% and not
Yeah.
15% like she's going to.
Are they commercial landlords fly under the radar a bit?
Yeah.
But they actually hold our business back in Australia.
Yeah.
They hold businesses back.
Yeah.
Our retail environment in Australia has a lack of vibrancy and a lack of risk simply because of the amount of money you pay.
Yeah.
But the point is, when you're paying money to Amazon, just think of it. That's your rent for that store. So the other thing is that when people say, "Oh, Amazon," it's not a monolith. It's all Amazon. There are people like you as well, right? So, and there's different ways you can do it. Whether you have Amazon do your fulfillment, or you do fulfillment. There's a whole heap of different things there, and you can even make it so if you've got an online store on your website, you can actually have it selling through Amazon as well using the same data. Now, I've been trying to convince Australian businesses of this for 20 years.
Yeah.
But there's just that little bit that just hardly ever makes that connection. It's quite frustrating because so many people can be making so much more money.
Yeah.
But they kind of give up. And they listen to people like Jerry Harvey when he talks about it.
Yeah.
And they're getting and the media and they're getting wrong advice. And it's really frustrating. Anyway, it's I won't go too much more.
You always got to remember a lot of the mainstream media outlets make more money through commercial real estate deals than they currently do through their.
Jerry Harvey he's a landlord.
Yeah.
He makes his money off because when you go in Harvey Norman, a lot of people don't know this. They're all separate businesses that work.
Correct.
They're not Harvey Norman. Harvey Norman provides the floor space and the finance. That now, when you hear him talk, keep that in mind.
Yeah, so they're all franchisees, aren't they? It's like
just don't listen to Jerry Harvey, people like that. They're not there for you. They're not there to give you advice, and they don't even know how to run a real business. Let's be honest, they don't run a real retail business. They run a parasite that lives off retail businesses.
Yeah, pretty much. I agree.
Anyway, so what was I talking about? Xbox, Craig. Okay, now Microsoft needs to spin Xbox off. I'll move on from that. I can't remember how we got onto this one. EA
EA's been quiet, so this will be interesting.
Jared Kushner and his Saudi friends. I can't believe I just have to say that. Like, and this is again like, look, okay, they only bought FIFA. That's all they care about. And look at FIFA in America. What the hell? Did you know this is the first World Cup ever they've had delays in the game, so that the TV stations can air ads?
Yep.
The hell is going on? Apparently, though,
well, FIFA's just hitting its final form.
The guy that runs FIFA got a free plane.
Yeah,
that was a rumor. Anyway, Anyway, everything in America is its final form right now. Yeah. Even that idiocracy stunt they just pulled on the White House. Everything is their final form. Trump is American human form. Don't pretend it's going to change when he goes.
And he didn't come out of nowhere. He congealed in the same swamp.
He's the symptom, not the disease.
Correct.
People need to get that through their thick fucking heads.
Yeah.
And we need no coming back.
And we need to get that through our head here, lest we go down that path as well.
And we should reject MAGA in every form in Australia. Anyway, so I'm going to zap for you, zap for me. EA advertising. We got onto that from Kushner and his Saudi friends. So again, they have a new platform, transforming.
I hate it already. I hate this conversation already. If they're transforming anything, fucking hell.
Let me finish. This is carefully written using ChatGPT. They have a new platform transforming how brands connect with audiences through digital and real world experiences across EA's global portfolio of games. Does that sound exciting? I got a theory. I reckon all online advertising is a scam.
Yeah. I mean, I'm on Instagram. To be fair, though, it must be said Instagram is more honest than most of the internet now. That's the world we live in.
That's where I'm coming from. Because remember there was a bit of a discussion a few years ago about clickbait journalism.
Right? Was it? I don't remember. I don't see large cultural shifts.
It's the point nobody really looked at, right? The fact that media outlets had to clickbait in the first place to get people to come to their page, they were doing it so they'd see the ad. Yeah. That ad being placed was no value to that business. It doesn't matter. Or take away all the other bits of that debate and just look at it. Any business that was putting it on, say, let's say there's a site rhymes with Opaku. Right? And if they were doing clickbait, that ad placed there had no positive value for that brand. So if you were trying to Ordigorn, let's go for if you're clickbaiting people, get it. I'm not commenting on anything else. That ad to that business placing the ad was worthless, right?
Well, and their click-through numbers, especially in the last days, were.
Oh, I saw some. I won't say how. I actually have seen one of those sites in Australia's numbers.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the thing is that ad is nothing to that advertiser. So as far as I'm concerned, all online advertising is borderline fraud. And this anyway. So this is one where EA are going to do that now. Of course, there's sports games you can add now. They're talking real time ad placements.
Yeah.
Stadium signage. So
Yep.
when you play Madden or NHL, and FIFA will be an interesting one because there'll be deep talks with FIFA how they can basically try and rip each other off in this one.
Yeah.
Where you'll have stadium signage. They've even got, I don't know how all this stuff works, but apparently a full team DEW University that's in EA College Football 26.
Oh yeah, right. Okay.
I don't know. I don't know anything about college footy. They've got a custom stadium. They've got a mascot. They've got custom rewards for players, all part of an advertising deal. They say it will enhance and not disrupt the player experience.
So
let's see.
My only funny story here was I'm pretty sure it was them. They started putting ads in. Was it Burnout or Need for Speed or something like that? I remember I was playing once and a THC ad came up, and I thought that was the most absurd, ironic thing that I'd ever seen, and I thought this is really good from a humor perspective. And then we're just past that now. We're past the fun kind of absurd irony into whatever this fucking hellscape is.
There's no fun in this world.
Yeah.
It's unless you like dark humor. If you like dark humor,
again, like I said, because it is hard, right?
If you're dark woke like us,
yeah. Look, I don't know. I think we're the definition. I'm like, I was speaking to someone the other day, and I said to her, I was like, yeah, look, I'm an edgy boy at the best of times, but I consider myself like, if you want to talk about what woke is meant to be, I consider myself aligned with a lot of that stuff. But I just hate the way that my so-called cohort goes about everything. It's all this outrage politics and appealing to fucking higher moralities, and it's like, no, fuck that. Sometimes you got to fight sometimes you got to fight in the mud and the blood and the trenches.
because I'm going to be frustrated by how look, I love Some More News and Cody, right? But they're like a video they did recently about Margot Ratz deserting the ship, and it was Marjorie Taylor Greene and Tucker. Now I get what they're saying, but sometimes you got to say for the purposes of this battle, let's ally. Like America allied with the Soviets and Stalin to beat Hitler, right? Stalin wasn't a very nice guy, but he's. You can argue whether him or Hitler was worse, and Hitler was probably worse. But the thing is, sometimes you have to ally with somebody you don't like to defeat.
How many Nazis did they take to get into space?
That's how that's actually my only problem with Quentin Tarantino movies is that say something like Inglourious Basterds, that was the wrong ending. What the Americans would have done is they would have quite happily taken handstand. There would have been no thing on his no swastika on his forehead. They would have just
suddenly worked for the IRS. Yeah. Look, that's the old joke. The left fall out, the right fall in line, and this is the thing. Even if we're at the point where they are coming back around for each other because of certain factions in ascendancy, they're coming for everyone, and that's where Marjorie Taylor Greene finds herself on. But it's like, but we can use you can use that energy, and then you get them. Once you've used them and you've sliced them up, if you hate their guts,
there's a bigger battle right now.
Yeah.
And if you're farting around like at this point, fighting with Tucker Carlson, Marjorie Taylor Greene, you're kind of missing the point. Well, at this point, you'll have a larger threat.
You can always come back for him. You can always come back for the rat. You know what I mean?
Anyway, where was I? Okay, the advertising. So Jared Kushner and his Saudi friends. The advertising. So now I think in-game advertising can work. I'm gonna put that out as my hot take, right? Do you remember Crazy Taxi?
Yes,
that was done well.
The Levi shop.
So and it worked, right? Yeah. So it can be done. Now, do I have any confidence that EA and Jared Kushner and his Saudi mates are going to do that properly? No.
Well, because the Japanese,
it's going to be really annoying.
The Japanese wear their heart on their sleeve and they have fun with it. Like they'll actually go, let's collaborate in a silly way or something that accentuates the art product. And this goes to a cultural thing for them as well, whereas like the way they value different jobs in society, and they've always valued artists above merchants kind of thing. So it's like when KFC puts it in there, it's like, it's just, it's a thing, it's a location, and it's done in their unique
It worked
way.
in the game.
Yeah,
worked in there. And they could do it again. I don't know if they're going to do it in the new Crazy Taxi world.
Yeah.
That can be done. Stadium signage can be done.
Yeah.
So there are places. Now, again, do I trust them to do a good job that's not going to be obnoxious? Not in the slightest. We're talking EA.
Yeah.
We're talking three of the most
let's-
evil entities on the planet right now. Combined. I don't trust them.
Let's use your college football / your Madden football example, right? So let's say you had it was like, yeah, cool, we're gonna do like all the mascots and stuff like that, but then part of it's gonna be like a mascot mini game, and then you can have like a special guest, like Colonel Sanders is one of the mascots that can fight in the like you have like mascot.
It sounds like a Sega fighting game.
Yeah, I'm like I should work for Sega. This is old school Sega shit.
Yeah.
Like this is Sonic the Fighters, but you've got fucking Colonel Sanders.
Mega Mix.
Yeah, right. Yeah. You've got
good old days.
You've got the Daytona car versus Colonel Sanders, right? Like,
so look, it can be done. That's what I say. Crazy Taxi example. I don't trust them, but it can be done. I actually think out of all the advertising ways in games, I would also, as a hot take, say it's the least offensive way instead of making it
just be honest about it. Like, yeah, just be fucking upfront about it. I mean, I have a Boss Black can as my
FIFA's going to be so annoying though. If you're a FIFA player, play EA FIFA. Oh man, you got your player card things you have to get. You're going to have ads everywhere. Yeah, man. But that's where it's really going to be.
Yeah, well,
let's be honest. It's all about that.
It's still badly too. Like they do lots of collabs that are like, and they're doing gacha pulls. I mean, I'm not a big fan of gacha games, full stop. But like for that reason mainly. But it's just like, and then they'll do these lazy crossovers. So it's not like we're just saying, oh, capitalism, Japan, POG. It's more. There are examples of doing. Even in the West, there's examples of doing it where it's fun. At least everyone's involved in that. Like when to be fair, KFC. Whoever does a lot of KFC marketing, I must be hungry. I'm talking about KFC a lot. But remember they did that dating game. They did the dating game. They did the series of ads with Mario Lopez. They're not bad. They've always had fun with. I
have YouTube Premium now.
Yeah,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's the best thing I ever did.
Yeah. But you just give them money directly to the CIA.
It's like a tithe.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah, the only 3-letter word Dermie wants is not KFC. It's CIA.
CIA.
Actually, you'll appreciate.
Hi, Agent Johnson. Hope you're enjoying monitoring. I don't mean what I said about the Saudis. I'm going to get messages now from attractive Saudi women saying they just want to explain to me the real situation. I get so many of that. And from another country I won't mention. I just want to tell you, it's like some attractive chick. I just want to talk about the real
another place where I mentioned Essendon. Yeah, just criticize Essendon online.
It's just flat out abuse.
My favorite thing the other day, I got two good ones. The other day, as soon as it was heard, I was like, lock up your children.
We got to be careful. I got to zap you.
But the other one that was funny, and it's related to this, was I said like, it was in like a little political Discord, and they're like, oh, what do we think of this potential running candidate for the Democrats for the president, blah blah blah. And they mentioned Pete, and I said, yeah, but Pete's just another fucking alphabet boy. And everyone's like,
he's a glowy.
And I said, I said, wait a sec, hang on. I realized what I said, as in CIA, not LGBT.
Oh, okay. Well, actually, he is too. He's a glowy alphabet.
Everyone's like, what? Like, they're like, that's really. I'm like, no. You're all Zoomers.
Alphabet agency.
I don't give a shit if he's gay. I give a shit if he's a fucking glowy, right? I don't care if he like.
We always used to call them the alphabet agencies.
Yes,
it's even in Deus Ex. Like.
Yeah. Suck dick, don't murder brown people. Like, there's a difference, right? Like, do what you want, but like, yeah. Anyway.
I actually totally lost my train of thought.
I remember typing it.
A really good point.
I remember typing it and just left it, and then half an hour later, I came back to like people going,
I saw a picture. It said the only congressional corporation I want to see, and it had a. I'm going to guess it was an AI picture of AOC and your favorite Bobert together, and I was going to send it to you, but I thought I might come around, find you in a coma. Yeah.
Well, I was watching a show the other day.
A bit too hard.
What show was I watching the other day, and they did a handjob grandma joke, and I was like, hell yeah! Oh, Family Guy latest season did a handjob grandma joke, and it was Chris Griffin talking about how it has to be a specific fantasy for him, and it's Lauren Boebert in a movie theater playing Beetlejuice. So in a community theater playing Beetlejuice. And so he goes, it has to be part of it for me. And I'm just like, shut up, Chris. Like, you're not allowed to tell him our secrets.
Sure.
Yeah.
I got one story talking, baby. I got a story that'll make you happy. Almost as exciting as Handjob Grandma for you.
Okay, yeah. I'm going to get in trouble for calling it Handjob Grandma, but that's all right. Whatever.
Anyway, Commodore is releasing a flip
phone. I was, if you didn't mention this, it was going to be the last thing I said.
Releasing a flip phone. It's called the Callback. It is not Android, but it runs, I think it's like a Shellfish OS or something with an Android. Apparently, it runs 99% of Android apps.
Yeah.
Has no touchscreen, no browser, no social media apps at all. It can use Wi-Fi or hotspot for calls.
Yeah.
It's just a phone. It's a flip phone with buttons. I like that. I wish phones had buttons. And it's only just for calling. So you finally got the phone you wanted.
Funny story of that, but it's $500
US.
It's $500 USD, isn't it?
There you go. Yum, yum.
Oh no! I've got good Grandpa's still got the reflexes. No, it's $500 USD, isn't it? Something ridiculous.
It's $708.96 Australian.
Jesus
so yeah, might have to wait for your birthday.
Yeah.
So,
I
was going to buy my wife a Trump phone.
Oh, hell yeah!
I thought it'd be so funny because she's such a big fan.
Look, for what it's worth, I would laugh and find that funny, even if you were stuck on the couch for a month. I would still find that funny.
I wouldn't be allowed in the house. I wouldn't be allowed in the same suburb. I thought, when it first got announced, I thought, if these aren't that much, I'm going to buy my wife a Trump phone.
Well, they're like 1,000. Yeah. No, Japan has these thing Japan, but they have these retro flip phones similar to Galapagos phones. It runs on Android. And it has buttons.
It's made of turtle.
Yeah. It's flip phone, had buttons, had a proper Android over like skin on it and stuff like that. And they weren't even that much. They were like Australian. It was like 350, 400 Australian. Like 400 for a meme and a decent phone. Like it was an okay version of Android. It's like you'd pay that, but like $700 for a phone that I'm like, nah, man.
You know what's frustrating in the retro space? There's a lot of Android gaming,
especially
and they're all shit, right?
Yeah.
What's frustrating is they've got a flip one and everything like that. The imagination they're putting into the Android based retro gaming consoles they're making, they should be putting into the phones. They have Android already. How hard can it be to go that next step? Just give me. I would buy one of those retro consoles, especially that flippy one they just released, if it could make calls. I might not even play games on it. They're actually trying unique things. The phone space now is just basically here's a glass brick, and it'll break the moment you do anything with it.
But this is the problem when you start talking normies, because normies don't want. I mean, Samsung, you could argue, is perhaps one of the better ones for that because they do the fold and the flip and all that.
They're just testing military.
I mean, I didn't want to say that. I mean, it's like Microsoft, right? Isn't Microsoft doing an audit of their how the technology is being?
Remember those HoloLens glasses?
Yeah.
US Army has them. Yep. I doubt they're playing Minecraft with the Taliban.
I mean, it's a very good way to map the hilly terrain of Afghanistan
and make little buildings.
Yeah. Just the creepers have a particular skin on them. Yeah.
I almost actually sign up to go if we just play with the HoloLens for a tour of duty somewhere. Hopefully not get shot at. That wouldn't be too much fun.
I mean, look, you've been Iran coming up in the next few weeks. Everyone talks about Taiwan, and I just don't think China needs to do anything. China can just sit there and go, we'll wait. We'll do nothing.
I like that meme that says China, their method of destroying America is just sitting back and watching.
How does one say Bradbury in Mandarin? I'll have to Google that. Because that's what they're doing. They're just like, okay, well, I guess we are the superpower now because you've decided just to give up the space for free. We thought we'd have to fight for it, but okay, we'll just take it for free.
I think there's a lot going to happen. I told you before the podcast what two things have happened, but we probably can't say on the podcast till it's we have skirted a fine line a few times on here. Big hello to Electronic Arts.
And yet the only one we've ever pulled down was an expose on the games industry. What does that tell you?
Oh man, I'll tell you. Anyway,
when I die, just release it again.
They have no idea what.
When I die, release it again. It's fine. I'll die soon. Don't worry.
You got to put a dead man switch and just write it all down because apparently Virginia Giuffre, she had one. Anyway,
well, I mean, you know that story. Like she has a car accident, and then three days later, she just decides to quote unquote take her own life. I mean, everyone is okay with the idea of Epstein dying being sus. But
the Epstein, the photos of him being carried out of the cell, the ears did not look like his ears.
He's Palm Beach Pete. Anyway.
Anyway, okay, that's it for that. One last one. Castlevania is following God of War and having a girl.
That's fine. They've always had.
Rose Belmont, daughter of Trevor. I don't know who they are.
They've had occasional female protagonists across the series.
Can I point out there's been no outrage? It's almost as if the outrage is a marketing tactic because they know that some people are going to fall for it straight away and they're going to start making YouTube videos to get their ad dollars.
I'm going to put my Discord on blast a little bit here. There was a little bit of that in our chat. Like if you're laughing at the irony of it, I'll always pay a good ironic kind of, I'll wait till the blah, blah, blah. But there were some people in our chat when it was all going on and they're like, oh.
This is God of War?
This is God of War. There's going to be big blowback. I'm like, the most annoying thing about that God of War thing was, you'll appreciate this because you're an Australian. The hearing, you haven't seen the clip, have you? You haven't seen the 15-minute walk.
No, I'm not a God of War fan anyway.
So I'm not a fan of the new game.
Oz loved it. Oz had it on stream a few times when I was streaming with him, but he wouldn't let me play it because that and Last of Us were his games. I wasn't allowed to touch the controller. He gave me a not plugged in controller.
You got to play it too, not plugged in.
You go, you can play God of War for a little while.
And then I was the older brother who'd come in and say, "Oh, we can't pass this level. Oh my fucking god, just give it here. There you go, have it back." And then I
will be offended by that. He knew God of War inside out.
No.
That was Sonic.
That was Sonic. That was Sonic for you two. Fucking hell. So do you know how to play this fucking game?
Well, what are we talking about?
So the worst thing about LaFay was I because it was weird the individual feedback I got from different people. One person pointed out, "Oh, they made her look really old." I'm like, she's like a 45-year-old woman. Yeah, she looked like a 45-year-old woman to me. Like it was a weird thing to say, but that was from a woman who said that. So I nobody hates women quite.
Can I say that? Interrupt. Sorry. If you're going to do that, though, they got a very attractive actress to play the character, right? But just get a chick from The Office. This is going to sound bad, right? But if you're going to get, they did this with when Charlize Theron played that serial killer in
right?
They made her look really ugly. I'm like, okay, it's not going to sound nice, but don't go get an attractive actress and then make her ugly. Ugly is not the right word. No. Just go get some random. I know what I said is going to sound horrible, but you know where I'm going, right?
You're right. Even if you are cancelled,
I know what I said is going to sound bad. It probably is. But
how dare you say that some women can be ugly? That is just unbelievable.
Just don't go get the 11 out of 10 Hollywood actress to be in the game. Just go get like a 6 or 7 in The Office, and there's nothing wrong.
Jesus Christ, 6, 7, 6.
I know it sounds bad, but you know what I mean. Like why ugly down a really attractive?
Well, ugly down.
Oh my god!
Jesus Christ!
Dig up.
Yeah. All right, Andrew, relax.
I think I'll finish.
How's house arrest in Romania? But
why is he not in jail anywhere?
Well,
anyway, he was in Dubai a little while ago.
Yeah. Well, the
Iranians could have done the best thing ever.
Imagine if they got him. Imagine if they.
Everyone would have gone. I like him now.
Iran is woke.
I don't approve of Iran's religious theocracy or their attitude towards gay people or women, but I do approve of their murdering Andrew Tate.
I was going to say, considering Andrew Tate's tweets about how he doesn't find women attractive,
he's gay.
It would still be following with their bullshit theocratic laws to do it. Anyway, what I was saying was, so Deborah Ann Waller, whatever her name is, and I'm sure she's beautiful. Like she was in True Blood and all that kind of stuff. But I don't think that's an issue. But it was interesting that it was brought to me by a woman, which I thought was, again, I'm not gonna go too deep into it. But the sword, which we know is going to be some mythical sword, because this is hell. Oh, sorry, this is the afterlife for gods. With the Kiwi accent, why are we pretending that the Kiwi accent is relevant on the world stage? And I say that as an Australian, where
I don't know the fuss about the Kiwi accent,
because it's like there's a sword in. So Jack Quaid, Huey from The Boys, he plays the cube. He plays like the gelatinous cube, and so he's like, "Whoa, I'm the."
He kind of is one.
I like Jack Quaid.
That movie about him not having pain. Have you seen that?
Novocaine.
That's really good.
Yeah, he's good. I like it, and he's in a lot of the Red Letter Media stuff. I like Jack Quaid. Got a lot of time, and he acknowledges his origins. He knows he's the son of not Randy Quaid, the other one, Dennis Quaid.
Randy Quaid.
Well, he's the son of the son of Dennis Quaid and Meg Ryan. He's like Meg Ryan's kid, isn't he? Yeah,
I don't know.
Anyway, so it's
all nepo babies in Hollywood.
Yeah. But he acknowledges that, and and he'll say that. He'll go, "It's not that." I'm worse than anyone else. It's just I had opportunities that other people weren't provided. I'm like, that's the acknowledgement.
Well, that's the point.
Make that acknowledgement, and I can forgive you. You know what I mean? Like you get more chances to roll.
That's kind of like the privileged white boys welcome to country.
Right. Yeah,
effectively.
Basically, man. Basically.
Yeah, but anyway,
Anyway, and so inside, in stabbed in his head is a sword that she uses. That's how she kills a lot of people, right? In the thing. And the sword's like, oh no, I'm a sword brew. Like it's really awkwardly. Like, unless it turns, if you turned around to me and said it's some like Maori or Islander sword of destiny from their mythology, then I would go, this is all right. I can go, fair enough. But I'm like, the cultural relevance of randomly having New Zealand actor, it doesn't make any goddamn sense. But like at the same time,
but some American executive approved it, and he might have thought it was Australian.
Yeah, well, I mean that's
they don't know South African Australian sense.
Well, to be fair, and I've said this to a lot of people. Everyone says, "Oh, South African, New Zealanders, and Australians sound similar." No. South Africans and New Zealanders sound the same. Every time I was in South Africa and I speak to someone, oh, you're from the UK. I'm like, from the fucking UK. What the fuck are you people talking about?
Well,
like,
that's an insult to an Irishman.
That's an Irish Australian. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, brother. Like, yeah.
yeah.
So,
Go start your car and fuck off.
yeah. But yeah, no, like
I don't have to put an explicit warning on the podcast.
yeah. But no, like I'm actually keen for Lafay. I did not like the God of War reboots, and that's a controversial opinion in 2026. But I thought they were meh compared to the original games. And I don't believe that.
Oh, I don't care about God of War, but I just think there has been zero outrage over Castlevania having a girl.
But it took that band-aid off ages ago.
It's a marketing tactic. This demonstrates that
Sony was hacked by North Korea. Like Sony are the kings of it, and we know somebody.
Oh man, that interview movie with Seth Rogen. I was praying for terrorists to attack while I was watching it.
Well,
so bad.
Alana's confirmed she worked on that, hasn't she? Or
I don't know.
Am I speaking outside school when I say that? I'm pretty sure I was speaking confirmed.
Which one? Oh, the God of War.
Yeah.
She's been accused of it everywhere.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't have insider knowledge. I've only got what I've heard in the grapevine, but I'm pretty sure she come out and acknowledged that.
I don't see why anybody should care. I've got to be honest.
Even if she hasn't, I mean, she's talented. She can do whatever the fuck she wants. She's fine. Like I would have played the game anyway, but knowing that she worked on it, I'm like, cool. It's going to be the right level of whatever it needs to be.
Yeah.
We got a lot of we're Alana and she's a friend of the show.
I don't understand why there'd be any fuss about anybody.
And this is what I'm saying. Like it's people wagging the dog for outrage because outrage is clicks, but also that weaponizing that was Bannon's masterstroke, and he
it was Sony.
As much as he's rotting in his own skin, he deserves the credit for understanding how to harness it.
Sony and Disney are kings of it as well.
Disney's the other one. Fucking hell, man.
Sony did it with God of War, so they knew the usual suspects would leap onto it the moment they were invited in. They're like vampires. You invite them into your discussion, and they destroy it.
Yeah.
But there was none over Castlevania, which means Castlevania fans are also a little bit more sensible.
Yeah, and it's Konami too. Konami is a company that, like, as much as it has all these great history and understanding, everyone hates Konami as a company. They know how Konami doesn't.
They made Frogger.
Konami doesn't. Konami doesn't want to make games. They make games as a thing, but they don't want to make games. That's why they did. Because Konami, for a long time, went through the Kojima silliness.
Oh yeah,
they were known for running health clubs. They wanted to be doing stuff like that. Yeah, they want to be doing stuff like that. There's Konami health clubs everywhere in Japan.
So Konami's making money off health clubs. Sony's making off insurance.
Konami used to make it off pokies as well, but all the pokies are like cheapo Chinese, like weird things now. But and so did Capcom. To be fair, Capcom had a lot of that stuff too. But that was where Konami. So Konami's not a much loved company. They have a great pedigree, but as far as the actual running of the company goes, no one loves Konami. It's not. It's like even Capcom has a little bit of, the family dynasty that runs that has a little, like the guy who reinvigorated Monster Hunter and Devil May Cry and all these kind of things. After 15 years of, I wouldn't say stagnation. They obviously had a lot of great games in that time, but there was definitely a bit of a culture when they lost all the good people who went to start up Platinum and all these other offshoots, or like companies knew where they were, and then you've got the other side of it was Capcom. Like Capcom's public image is much better than it was, say, 10 years ago. And that's because the son, like the basically the fucking chosen one that works for it is the son of the guy who basically runs Capcom. He put his back into it and he would just led a bunch of really good projects, and they all paid off and they all made money and they were all very popular with fans. So at least he understood that. I mean, you mentioned about using random people. Capcom was probably the first company in gaming for a while there to use random, like Kojima used models when he was doing certain things. So he'd use models for I forget the names, the birds of prey or whatever they were in Metal Gear Solid 4, and he used them and took photos of them. So he was the first to do it in that overt cameo sense. But in Devil May Cry 5, all of the people like that played Dante and Nero and what's her name, Nico and stuff like that, they were all real people, and you could tell because they were a little. I'm going to use your words. They were all a little bit ugly. They looked human. They had a human flaw each. Like the girl who played Nico, hot as
they weren't perfect. Let's say they weren't perfect.
Yeah, she was hot as all fuck, but she just had that toothy, like the gummy smile. Like she had a little bit too much gummy smile, but it worked because
like the chick in the office can be really hot, but she's not like an actress. But everyone goes, she's fucking hot.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. And it's like because she's and so it worked because it humanized and made them look real, and it really just added to the whole thing. And they did the same for Monster Hunter Worlds so wild compared to World. You can tell that these are real people that they've taken photos of and put them in, like, you know, even their average looking blokes, like the guy, like the engineers, Werner, and all those people, they look like real people, and it actually it adds something to it rather than taking away from it. So it's interesting that gaming has gone the route of making people look more real, and movies have gone the route of let's just make people look like cartoons. It's interesting how the crossover's gone the other way.
Hmm.
Anyway, we're running long even for us, so let's wrap it up.
We didn't even get into politics.
Nah,
Not much anyway.
not once,
Like,
this whole time. Like, just
probably gonna get drone striked by
yeah. Well,
Canadians, but
just don't vote Pauline is the answer. Like, yeah, I don't know.
we don't need MAGA.
It's an obvious psyop. It's an obvious.
America doesn't need
It's an
MAGA.
obvious gene. It's an obvious gene. It's an obvious gene of psyop. And yeah,
It's all fake. It's all fake.
It's all
fake.
infected.
And it just goes to show how the shit state that Australian media's in, that they're trying to sell us this stuff.
Yeah, Thomas Sewell was the first wave, and that didn't go the way they expected, and now they're pushing Pauline.
He'll be back.
Yeah, he'll be back. Absolutely. I mean,
he's just living in his country club.
I was going to say, you saw the house he's living in, yeah? Like, fucking hell. Like,
weird, eh?
Yeah, all you got to be is a New Zealand racist, apparently, and they'll put you up wherever you want. You don't have to worry about the rental crisis. Like, fucking hell. And
kind of weird, kind of almost if somebody's providing for these people.
Yeah,
they serve a purpose.
I've got some. I can't say it on the podcast, but I
probably should wrap.
I'll say to you.
I'm gonna have to zap. Bzz, bzz, bzz.
All right, let's go. Thank you for staying for 70 minutes of the podcast. Thank you as always. We've got BAM coming up in a few weeks. If you haven't gone up, you like fighting games, come and check it out. We do have Beyblades there as well, if that's your thing. We're trying to get some more indie games there as well, so it should be good fun.
There's like 6 different world tour. Event championship events.
Capcom World Cup, backed by Steel Series. We've announced that. I think
yeah.
Turtle Beach. We have a bunch of stuff. So it's all going to be good. It's all going to be great. We should be good fun, and I'm really looking forward to running that. Then we have Metro Comic Con not long after that. There'll be a glitch on the night of Metro Comic Con Saturday as well. So we'll be doing the gaming stage at Metro Comic Con. So if you were there, please come on down, win some prizes, come up on stage, do some dumb shit with me. I'll make you milk cows like I do to everyone. And then
I hope they're real cows, but you know.
Oh well, what? Hang on. And then so we got some fun stuff coming up, and then obviously we're into event season after that. So then it's Gamescom into Tokyo Game Show. Of course, I'll be at Tokyo Game Show again.
I need to go back to
work. You should come over.
I do need to.
I'll be there in December as well. I've told you that already. So.
It's Mecca for gamers.
Yeah. And the end is very weak at the moment.
If anybody wants to go with Jason, we got a website for
travel. Yeah, we're getting a few pings at the moment. I think it's time.
Contact Jason.
Let's go have a meeting with our third part of this conversation and do that soon, because I think there's enough people now who've asked that
if you're a gamer, it's an experience you got to do at least once.
And we'll take you all the good spots. We know the good spots, and you get to come and hang with us. And I'll make sure you get home after karaoke at 5 a.m.
It is something else. It really is.
Thank you very much for listening. Don't forget to check out New Game Plus on Twitter, Twitch, Instagram. I've done some Instagram videos. I'd like your feedback on them. I'm going to do some more of that going forward, and we'll go from there.
All right, we're going to go.
Yes, we do have to go. Thank you for that. That was my phone. And we'll speak to you later. Cheers.